Welcome to Inner Space Transmissions, where we're going to talk about music because we're in our inner space. So it's going to be cozy conversations with artists and talent, as well as DJ sets from artists' homes. Today, super excited to kick things off with PIERA, a musician, an artist, and activist. We're big fans of PIERA's here. You can check her stuff out on streamable platforms. I especially listen to it on Spotify. Tell me a little bit about your tunes, PIERA.
Yeah, so I've always been really interested in experimentation with sound, and this record is very future focused. A lot of synths, very synth driven. Always been a big fan of David Bowie, Jean-Michel Jarre, electronic music in general, Kraftwerk, Tangerine Dream, that kind of thing. And I'm also really interested in stream of conscious and creating music that just sort of rides that wave of what's going on in the back of your mind all the time. And so, the music is very experimental and organic in that way.
I really love your record, and it actually hits on so many themes of right now. It's not like you were prescient that you knew any of this was going to happen, but I think it just hits a lot of those themes of, fear, of hope, of things being out of your control. Tell us a little bit about that. What was inspiring you, and how do you think your music will affect those who might want to listen to it now?
You know, I've always felt a little bit like an alien, a little bit like an oddball out. I've always asked myself questions like, what does it mean to be alive, conscious? What are we doing here? What are we on this planet for? And what is the connection between the soul and consciousness? So these are some of the themes that I explore on this record. In fact, one of the songs, Dust, was written up in Big Sur. I was on a beautiful drive and taking in the scenery, and I was just thinking about our planet as home. How do we become so disconnected from nature? It's such an important part of who we are in our environment as humans, and yet we destroy nature, we build cities, we remove the nature. And so, Dust is really about coming home, not just to a living planet, but back to ourselves and finding ourselves part of the cosmic dance. Also, if you listen to the first song on the record, it's called When the World Ends. And it's the intro, and it's really, I wrote it, not knowing we'd have a global pandemic coming, which I find really interesting, but it really is asking the question, because I believe that we are in this kind of generation right now that's seeking meaning. Like, what are we doing here? And what's the purpose of your life? How do you fit in? What's the human soul saying, sort of on a global scale? And is anybody paying attention? Does anybody care? How do you feel? And so that really came out of that stream of consciousness or mindset, you might say.
Absolutely. So, and I thought of that, I listen to it all the time, but I listened to it over again recently with this in mind, and was stunned at how it really touches on a lot of things that I generally ask myself. What do you think it is about your lyricism that makes it so relatable?
Well, for me, I just think that I ask a lot of questions, and I'm not afraid to ask difficult questions and answer them through my songwriting. I think that, again, coming back to what are we here for? What are we doing? These are the kinds of things that I'm not only thinking about, but I think other people are thinking about too. Maybe I'm just, processing them through my medium. With music, it's like I want to write things that I'm thinking about all the time, concepts that I'm exploring or things I'm struggling with. And I think it's relatable because other people are thinking about these things too in the back of their minds. I think that a lot of people have the same questions I do, and I just have the unique opportunity to explore them through music and sound. Also, another thing about that is I think some songwriters approach music from the standpoint of what does everybody want to hear? Like, what's interesting? You know, a lot of people approach it from like, oh, let's write a love song, or like, you know, boy meets girl. And I'm very interested in love and sexuality and impulse, in all the same things that drive us as humans as the next person. I just think that when it comes to music, it needs to be organic. It needs to come from a real place, as opposed to working backwards. Like, I don't sit and think, okay, you know, society wants, you know, more sex songs. Let's write one, or more party rave songs. Let's write one. For me, it's like, just start with what comes natural and go, you know, create from that raw place. And I think that's where the magic is.
So when you're performing live as PIERA, it's you, it's Micah, you both have lots of gear. There's a whole table filled with synths and filled with, you know, knobs and all this beautiful gear. The sound is also super powerful, but your performance is also super kinetic, really energetic, very bombastic. How did you guys get to that point where you decided how to take your music that you've been doing together sort of in a bedroom style into a live performance that's so upfront?
I mean, what's really interesting is the way this record was produced. It was produced in a studio, and there's literally hundreds and hundreds of tracks. There's multiple synthesizers, there's effects, there's layering, there's modular, there's so many things going on. And when we decided that we wanted to bring it live, one of the challenges we were faced with is, how do you deconstruct this? Like, how are you going to take it from this massive, enormous, layered, dense, musical place to something that's portable, something you can bring to a stage? So when we play live, you're going to hear a lot of things. You're going to hear some things that Micah is actually creating on the spot, things that weren't on the record, like new layers, new elements, textures. He's always looking to like bring it to the next level. You're going to have things that are pre-recorded, and then you're going to have things that are being performed live. And then for me as a singer, like, and an artist, I really, really want to connect with my audience and the space. So, I mean, you know, depending on where you are when you're performing live, if you're like in an enormous room, or if you're on a big stage, or maybe you're in a very small, intimate setting, for me, the challenge and the fun thing to do is to try to fill that space. Every molecule, you know, it's like about energy, and I really am sensitive to energy. So I connect with the energy of people, I'm connecting to the energy of a room, and I'm really wanting to, you know, maximize and harness the power of that space and that connection and that opportunity to have an intimate, almost like tangible experience with sound. And so, yeah, it's really interesting, you know, going from the studio to going live and having totally different setup, arrangement, and just playing with it and having fun. So we have a really good time with it. Yeah, it's really cool.
So now that we're in a streaming situation and people are going to see your performances coming soon online, what do you bring to an online experience that might be a way to connect that's different than the in-person live experience?
One of the things that I think is really interesting about this time, being in lockdown, quarantine, with COVID and everything like that, is that we're forced to adapt, and performing live in your loft, which this, you know, I live downtown LA, this is my loft, and when you see the video that we're going to debut, you're going to see us in the space. And I think that one of the beautiful, amazing things right now is that you're getting a slice of my intimate life, something that you would not normally see like in a regular venue. You wouldn't see this at a club or a show. So there's this sort of like piercing of the facade of somebody, and I think that's really fun about these times going online, is that you can actually peer into somebody's natural habitat, and it gives you a sense of knowing them better, which I love. I love seeing where people live. You know, I love seeing how people work. It just, we're all humans and we all have our little like idiosyncrasies and the way we like to live and experience the world. So by seeing a performance in somebody's space, you are really getting a slice of life. And I think that's really fun and cool. And I enjoy seeing people do the same.
Considering the situation that we're all in, the lack of ability to produce videos together, the lack of ability to actually do concerts together, to be together, I know we at Big Smile Co. wanted to work with you and create a music video using the tools that we have available to us today, which include, Zoom, and also leveraging your inner space, your home, and the way that you work together as a couple when you're performing, when you're rehearsing, producing. Tell us a little bit about what it was that you shot in the video and what you hope to see when it's done.
This was really fun. I love it because it's raw and it's organic. What you're gonna see is I've never done before. And when you work with really creative people, magic happens. It's kind of crazy. So what you're gonna see is we shot video here in the loft, some live performance, and some like B-roll shots of me singing or dancing around and stuff like that. We used really simple things: iPhone, iPad, my laptop, my MacBook Pro, and simple software. But here I'm singing. We're performing live, hanging out, doing our thing. Like, it's just me being my normal weird self, hyper vivid with all my weird color and stuff like that. And and with some amazing editing talent, something amazing was created. So yeah, I'm excited to share.
Make sure to also watch the video for Calling You Out. It is a video that was shot, as PIERA said, in her most inner sanctum. It is a very intimate portrait of her home life, but also her band life brought into that. So tell us a little bit about why you chose this song.
It's really interesting. We chose to go in a really intense direction with Calling You Out. I know there's a lot of people making online videos right now, and they're all doing their like acoustic chill wave sets. But because we're electronic and our music is very intense, we just decided to go for it. And let's do a song that we would do on a big stage or in a big room and have fun and see what happens. I mean, yeah, we're in our loft, but the walls here are pretty thick. And so, let's just party. We need to party, man. I'm telling you, it's like, how much more of this, like, chill, like trying to keep it cool at home can somebody handle? It's time to let loose.
And so when you're doing these live performances that are coming soon, what can people expect? Is it a little bit of that same raw power that you'll be channeling, or is it going to be more of like the acoustic at-home set?
So the record's pretty eclectic. There's like really high energy songs and chill wave stuff, or a little bit more like mellow stuff. But we're actually going to do every single song. We put our heart and soul into this project, and every song is special and unique in its own way. So just want to have fun. Like, this is the record, this is what you're getting, and here's a slice. I mean, we got the time right now, right?
I mean, that's where we are right now. We're just, as a people, as creators, we just have to be super experimental. And I'm here for it, but I wish that it was under better circumstances. It's great that you have these channels to be able to get your work out. So at the very top, you're introduced as an artist and activist. Tell us a little bit about your activism and your involvement specifically with an organization called Visionary Women.
I've been involved in this nonprofit called Visionary Women for the last few years, and the story behind it's kind of interesting. As fate would have it, a few years ago, I started working with someone on many of their projects. They had a few different projects they were writing. They were very involved in some other things, and Visionary Women was birthed out of another project, and so I had the amazing opportunity to get involved on the ground floor. Visionary Women raises money for women's initiatives, and although it's a small organization, it's robust, it's strong, it's got world-class leadership and attracts world-class leaders, speakers. We've had Sadhguru come and speak. We just had Gloria Steinem in the fall, and really, I mean, that's just a taste of some of the amazing people that are involved in what we do. But our goal really is to empower women, and so what I do, I'm the director of communications and operations and sort of the hub of everything that goes on in the organization. Most things pass through my desk or office one way or another. And I'm just excited to be a part of something so positive. I mean, we need to be, community focused, and, life is an opportunity that, we can take and create and do things for ourselves, but it feels so good to be part of the giving circle of life and just realize that not everything is about us getting advantages, but how do we pay it forward? How do we help other people that need a leg up in life? So Visionary Women does that for women, and I'm very grateful and blessed to be a part of it.
That's really great. And now with COVID, is there anything that you're working on to support people connecting during this time? I'm sure Visionary Women has something.
Now that things have really changed and we're not allowed to meet together and do our big events, we are looking for opportunities to stay connected. And we're doing two things. Actually, we've just released $100,000 worth of grant funds to organizations who are on the front lines of COVID, whether it's Meals on Wheels or food banks here in LA or helping the street vendors. I mean, there's so many needs that are just, people are desperate. And so it's been really great to give that money to the people that need it the most, and it feels really good. But in terms of how do you transition or how do you pivot, we're doing things like this. We're having online conversations. We are organizing virtual meetings, and I think that this may become the new normal even post-COVID, that we need to stay connected more regularly, and whatever platforms exist, FaceTime, Zoom, Skype, I think people are going to be using more of these and integrate them into the mix with everything else they already do.
Absolutely agree. And there are so many ways that we can collaborate, work together, embrace the technology. And I think your video is going to be one really great example of that. So as we're using all these new technologies, as we're finding new ways to create and share and collaborate, it's super exciting to be able to see everything that you're building and working on. Where should people go to discover what you're up to?
You can find me on my website. It's PIERAmusic.net, PIERA music.net, and you can sign up. And you can also find me on Instagram at @theofficialPIERA. But I have a special promotion actually that I'm really excited to announce for all the Big Smile listeners and anyone that hears this show. Anyone that signs up on my website and purchases the vinyl will get an additional copy free to give away to a friend or a loved one. And let me grab the record here. So this is the record, limited edition blue vinyl. And yeah, during these times I just feel like music and the arts are so important. And there's no better way to cheer someone up than by giving them a gift of something that you enjoy. So if you enjoy the music, go to my website, PIERAmusic.net, buy the record, and send me a message. I'll personalize it if you want me to write a note to someone that you want to send it to. Thank you so much for having me. It's been really fun chatting, and looking forward to the next one.
So now that we're all using new technologies just to communicate face-to-face and also now create, we're really excited to see what you're doing and how you're taking advantage of everything. Where should people go to see what you're up to?
You can go to my Instagram. That's sort of my home base. That's where I'm posting, and that's also where you're going to start seeing the live performances that are coming up. So if you want to catch those weekly little live videos on Instagram, check out @theofficialPIERA. Again, that's @theofficialPIERA.
So we're really excited to share that PIERA is making her music available, especially to Big Smile Co. community members. She'll be offering a buy one, share one opportunity on her website, and we are thrilled to be associated with it and definitely know the gift of music is an important one. PIERA, tell us about your recent vinyl release and the limited edition.
We have just produced and released our first vinyl, and it's limited edition. All the heart and soul went into it. I'm just grabbing it here. Here it is. It's limited edition blue vinyl. And yes, again, as Maria mentioned, we are offering a buy one, give one. So anyone that goes online to my website and signs up, send me a message. I will send you 2 for each single one you buy. And if you want it personalized, I'll write a note to you or to your friends. And it's made with love, it's given with love, and just love everybody out there.
Amazing. Thank you so much for making that opportunity available. And thanks so much for joining us for our debut Inner Space transmission.
Thank you for having me. It's been really fun.
Awesome. Take care.
Tell me, I can hear through oceans what it says, what it's all about. Tell me, I can float right over. Tell me, so we don't have these doubts. Oh, what it's all about. I know we want it every hour. If I told you what I've done, you could hear solo voices when it comes, it's calling you out. If you could see what I've become, prophecies, ancient choices when it comes, it's calling you out. Love in this dirty town, what I give for what I want. Soon all will be shaken before it crumbles down. Oh, what it's all about. You know I need it on the hour. If I told you what I've done, you could hear solo voices when it comes, it's calling you out. If you could see what I've become, prophecies, ancient choices when it comes, it's calling you out. Tell me when it takes me over. Put a bit vital in my mouth. I can't stop these rays from pulsing, saying let's be love, let's be love, let's be love. Oh, what I only want. You know I need it on the hour. If I told you what I've done, if you could hear solo voices when it comes, it's calling you out. If I showed you where I'm from, cascading endless pulses when it comes, it's calling you out. If I told you what I've done, if I told you what I've done, if you could see what I've become, prophecies, ancient choices when it comes, it's calling you out.
Thank you.